Hello, Capricorn. My name is Kristen Simone Hansen, and welcome to Sea Goat Secrets. Okay, so Capricorn, it is the Leo new moon, which is intense for you. Mainly because we have a whole lot of 8th house activation going on. We are in Leo season, 8th house activation for you. We are in a Leo Venus retrograde, 8th house activation for you. And here we are with the Leo new moon. So all of these things are happening at the same time. These three major planetary alignments are in Leo, which is very transformational. As I keep saying, it is in your 8th house. And it's cleaning out your closet. It is burst opening that door with all of your skeletons and all of your shadows and all of your dark corners, and it is illuminating light. When you think of Leo, you think of the sun, and the sun is illumination. All that was hidden will now be seen. All that was in the dark will now be given light. Leo in general can be a channeler for those things. Which is, for example, why if you've ever known a Leo, like a child Leo, you'll notice that children Leos, especially around their preteen years, will start to reflect the skeletons of their families. So it's an interesting dynamic. But they will, for example, if the parents have like a hidden agenda or whatever the parents' belief systems are, Leos will then take on those belief systems and do it with pride, even if they're the kind of belief systems that the parents don't necessarily want everyone to know about. That is Leo. If you've ever been in a relationship with a Leo, same thing. It's all about exposure. Without Leo always necessarily being aware of it, they tend to illuminate that which is in the dark. And especially when a Leo placement activates your 8th house. And that is what's happening for you right now. The good thing is it's happening in a serendipitous way. So there is exposure being put on your creativity, your talents, your abilities, your sexuality, your beauty, your attractiveness, your passion, your intensity. These are all of the positive things that are taking place. And on the other side, because with every yang there's a yin, with every positive there is a negative. That is the world that we live in terms of duality. On the other side, you are also having to face your past traumas, difficulties that you've dealt with in terms of love, particularly with love, because of what's happening with the Uranus transit. A lot of this 8th house activation is going to your relationships. For some of you, it may be your career relationships or your family or your friends, but those deep connections. So if it was a career relationship, the kind of thing that really altered you, shifted you, friendships and family relationships that really are very important. Nothing is on the surface here. We're going deep into whatever has truly impacted you, hurt you, broke you, shaped you, and molded you in good ways and in bad. You are really assessing your relationship sector and what has lived there. So that is what's going on with this Leo new moon activation. So you're kind of in a headspace where you're 50-50. So through so many highs, because there's so much passion and vitality and intensity moving through you, there's also this other side of trauma and remembering things that you possibly don't want to, remembering times that really facing those skeletons in that closet, those deep dark corners, and they're in your face and they're showing themselves to you. And it's not the easiest feeling, but you're learning to transition that pain and that difficulty and add it to your passion, which is when Scorpio and Leo meet. That is the beautiful thing that tends to take place. And the 8th house is governed, shared with Scorpio. And this time period, through all of this emotional upheaval, it is refining you, because you guys are so good at refinement, into bringing out the parts of you that were once hidden. So the sea goat is really coming to the surface of the water. And for many of you who are used to functioning on the mountain, You're now stepping down from that mountain into the ocean and integrating who you truly are. And that eighth house energy is asking you not to hide and to not split yourself in half and to disconnect from the emotional body, but to merge the two together, to use the skeletons in that closet to be a deeper, more passionate, more powerful, and creative, sensual, and sexual you, which is lovely. So let's get into this. We've got big renewals with this moon conjuncting with Venus retrograde. I already said that. Big focus on transformation. So you really want to see yourself change over the next 2 weeks. You're looking in the mirror, and many of you, especially the feminines, you guys are kind of like, I mean, Capricorn's a feminine sign, but particularly for the feminines, you guys are really going to kind of be looking at yourselves and, you know, seeing how is it that you want your hair to be, and your eyes, and your, you know, how do you want to wear your makeup? How do you want your body to be? Who do you really want to show up in the world as? How do you embrace the depth of who you are in order to make yourself more attractive, more authentic, more appealing? You want to integrate that closet of yours into being a deeper and truer you. How can you take your power back? That's another big thing that's happening as you're remembering the times that people made you feel powerless. It's making you feel more powerful. So you're going to be dealing with some tinges of like anger, you know, anger, resentment, rage, all of those notions of revenge. One thing to remember though, Capricorn, is revenge is never worth it. Ask any villain in a superhero movie, okay? They're always miserable. So remember to take that desire for revenge and bring it back into yourself and use it as a creative outlet. Take that pain and transformation and transform it into creative energy. If you're thinking about when you were bullied at work or abused in a relationship, transition that energy and turn it into a song, turn it into a movement, turn it into a company. Utilize that energy. Many of you are going through changes when it comes to your career as well, where you're being asked to integrate your trauma into your work. And it sounds so backwards, but how can you make a better business through the authenticity of your experiences? So let's say you're, I don't know, a therapist. I did a reading for one of you guys where this actually came up. So it's, and here we are with Leo New Moon. But so it must be something on a collective consciousness level, but which makes sense because of what was happening with the Aqua moon at the beginning of this month as well. It's like, how can you be better and deeper with your work, and how can you connect with people in a better way? And you do that when you integrate the truth of your experiences. Through trauma comes transformation. The way to be better in business is when you understand how to solve a problem. Identify the problem so you can create the solution. You become a better problem solver when you acknowledge that you have an innate, wonderful ability to problem solve because of the things that you went through, because of the problems that you've experienced yourself. You can do things now that you felt like you couldn't do in the past. It's because of the power that you're experiencing, the confidence that you're feeling, the vitality. There is a lot going on with love, but I'm going to wait until the end to address that. You're thinking differently. You're being more open and more flexible. Again, through the viewpoint of pain and how you're turning it into power, you're realizing that you have to be more flexible and more open-minded if you want to change and transform. The divine wants you to embrace more pleasure. You're also having great spiritual awakenings. I'll leave love and sex for later. You're learning to receive more. You're learning to attune yourself to what it means to be more attractive, more pulling. To create is to generate and receive what it is that you need. And that applies to love, if love is your difficult viewpoint, and that also applies to your career if that's what you're struggling with now. How can you create to attract, not be the doer, but the attractor, the creator? And it's through embracing your emotional body, going into that closet and integrating the self is when you awaken your personal power. It's not about what you're doing on the outside, it's about what you're doing on the inside, what's happening and being created within. Hidden talents coming to life, that's another big thing as well. So if you didn't, I guess I'm trying to find a way to explain that. So let's say you used to play the harmonica. That's kind of coming back. And you're also going to be finding out that if you add more push and more power to it, you can do things now that you were not able to do then in the past. And it also can be you just showing the world your hidden talents as well without apology. There's windfalls of finances. This is a big thing. And I'm going to go into the finances before I go into love. But I wanted to finish off with anything going on with your personal self. And that's it for personal self. Yeah, that's it for personal self. So let's go into what's happening with your money. So when it comes to your money, there's a potential for a lot of windfalls of finances. So that can be anything really, really big, like a lottery win, for example, or it can be small things where you're getting returns on investments that you invested in a while ago. People who owe you money are going to be coming out the woodworks and kind of giving it to you. You could also get a loan. You can get an angel investor, some kind of resource that comes from someone else. So not necessarily something that you generated directly yourself, but it's the ways in which other people's resources, 8th house energy, so your creative energy or your pulling energy, being able to give back to you financially. And again, returns on investments. So money that was once lost is being found, people who owe you, and yeah, like grants as well is another big thing happening for this Leo new moon. So look out for that for the next week to 2 weeks as well. Big conversations about money. If you are married, you guys are going to be potentially looking at your finances and seeing, okay, how do things get split up? Where do you, in particular, Capricorn, feel like you're doing too much and you're taking on the weight of things and your partner is not? If you're going through a divorce, you guys are splitting up finances, you're splitting up resources, really going deep into how is it that you feel like your energy is being drained in terms of your finances? Who do you feel like owes you money and needs to give it back? Where do you feel like you gave too much and did not receive enough? So all of these conversations are coming up with this new moon, and they're illuminating where you were an overgiver, where you were an under-receiver, and you're very focused on making sure that you're not giving more than you're receiving, that whatever it is that is owed to you is given back to you, and you're going to put in your energy to make sure that that happens in some way, shape, or form. You're going to kind of hit the ground running in terms of making sure that the relationship between you and other people when it comes to your resources, abundance, and finances are things that you are now comfortable with. You're no longer interested in being the giving tree. You're now saying to yourself that you deserve. Receiving, attracting, and creating is where your headspace is now. Okay, so that is, oh, and also a financial release as well. So as I said, if you've been feeling strained financially, there's help afoot if you go looking for it, okay? Now, lastly, let's get into love. And I wanted to save this one for last because this new moon is mainly going to be impacting your love sector, especially your sexual sector. So as I was saying before, with you and yourself, you're feeling the vitality of you more. You've been getting more attractive for a while, for the past couple of months, feeling more of your own energy, really focused on your beauty, especially back in, I want to say it was June, is when that process began. And now it's the application of it all, the implication of it. You're feeling very, very sexually alive. So that can be converted into creative energy. As I said, if those of you who are not converting it into creative energy and are converting it into passionate, physical energy, I would say that if you are in a relationship, this is a really great time to make a lot of love. Push the envelope. Allow yourself to step out of whatever restrictions that you were once in. You're full of passion, and a lot of it has to do with, again, the conversion of the skeletons in your closet. So it's a good thing to learn how to use sexuality as a healing point. So with all of this energy moving through you, you're also dealing with the traumas of the past, or the addressing pain, addressing your shadow. the two in combination is a beautiful time to awaken yourself to the Tantra, especially if you are in love and if you are in a relationship where you feel safe, using this passionate energy to heal yourself sexually with merging with another person and allowing all that passionate energy to go in that direction, allowing more vulnerability, more tenderness, letting go of a lot of the rules and the restrictions when it comes to lovemaking. And all of these things are going to be working in your favor. If you are not in a relationship and you think you still are interested in releasing yourself in this way, it's a great time for flings, one night stands that are to be remembered. If you are not going, or also personal lovemaking, embracing yourself, embracing the depth of the sensual, sexual energy that exists within you as well, because you're already feeling that energy and you can apply it with the self. The intensity that it is that you're going through, the biggest thing that I would say, especially for the Capricorn masculines, is to make sure you're channeling your energy in a healthy way, because you're kind of in a headspace where there's so much going on with you emotionally that you can kind of push it, you know? So make sure that you kind of keep yourself under, I wouldn't say under control, because the point is to kind of release yourself, but just make sure that whoever it is that you're connecting with on both the feminine masculine narrative, there's space for you to be free, there's space for you to be your truest self without inhibitions, because you're learning how to use all of your pain and convert it into power and passion, which is a very, very wonderful thing. And this new moon is recreating you in so many ways, and teaching you how to integrate the sides of yourself, and deepening your sense of self-love, because you're no longer looking at yourself as if you're split into two, or you have to hide your dark side or your whatever's in your closet. The full illumination makes you full of more pride in the self, understanding that through growth through opposition is what made you who you are. And it's making your music deeper. If you're a musician, it's making your creativity better. It's making your passion stronger. It's making your sex life more lucrative and better and deeper. And you're connecting with people on a more intense level. There's also a lot of spiritual awakening happening during this time for those of you who are converting this sexual energy into spiritual energy, which it all is the same, right? Sexual energy is spiritual and creative energy. There is, during the Leo new moon, if you are doing any rituals, this is a great time to connect intensely, to really dive into the depths of the self. A lot of downloads, a lot of connection. The great thing about this Leo new moon for you, Capricorn, versus other people, because it's a time for you to have fun, of course, embrace pleasure, and embrace, have again, flings, one night stands, party, take all that energy of yours and get intense and have fun with it. You know, really embrace your pride and your sense of self, feel sexy, feel bold, of course. But one of the great things is, because it's happening in your 8th house, it's a really wonderful time for you to go higher, you know, really awaken yourself in terms of enlightenment, versus just kind of being the party animal, I guess. You can dive deep with your connections with people, instead of just kind of them being on the surface. And or on a very practical level, you can go to one hell of a party, one that feels like transformational, versus one that kind of just felt like, oh, okay, I got drunk and I forgot. This party can feel like, wow, I went there and I met my soul tribe. I met a friend that is going to be in my life for the next 20 years. Or more likely, a lover. And I'll get to that in another moment. I just want to check this one more time. Yeah, so positive things happening with your finances, a lot of positive movement in terms of your self-development and self-love. And when it comes to love in itself, many of you have the potential of getting deeper with someone right now. So if you are involved romantically, the universe is asking you to be more vulnerable, to connect, to open yourself up. Whoever's around you, for the most part, for most of you, it actually is something that is in your positive development, something that is good for you. So allow yourself to be more vulnerable, open and connect with people that are around you. Release yourself from whatever blockages it is that you have, you can trust. That's another big thing that's going to be happening with this Leo new moon is there's a serendipity happening when it comes to love and finances. And some of you can just stumble, trip, and fall into a bar this week and potentially meet someone who things can go quite far with. With this 8th house energy, especially with Venus, you're going deep with people. And whoever it is that you're connecting with now or going to meet, you don't have to feel scared. You don't have to go through the little song and dance. You can actually crash right into this person and go into a place that you feel safe, which is going under. You don't have to be the Capricorn who's standing on the surface, but you can really swim into the depths and not hide, which is amazing. And again, using your sexuality to connect even deeper with those people that you're involved with. So yeah, that's what we have going on. And I will get into the reading. And all the people that I'm around, I can't keep my eyes off you. Oh, make sure that you guys can see this. Wow, okay. It's funny, when I first was shuffling, I saw that devil card, and when the deck did a hit, and it felt like the devil card wanted to fall out, but I was like, no, let me just keep going. I usually try to make things more deliberate, and then here it is again. So this is not up for debate. The subject for this new moon is you. And normally I would say it's just you in your entirety, you and your especially when you want to talk about the 8th house in combination with anything that has to do with Capricorn, it would make sense that instead of embracing the King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, the Emperor, the High Priestess, all these other options, that the devil would be the version of you that you are the most in tune with. But that, and actually with combination of competition, enemy, clever, like aka the snake, has me looking at it like maybe there's actually some toxicity that you're dealing with, something difficult that is coming afoot. But also, again, what does it mean to be the snake and the devil? What does it mean to have the combination of the two? The thing about Scorpio and Capricorn is both of them represent the dark. If you want to look at even who Capricorn was as a deity back in mythology, like Greek mythology, for example, we have Persephone represented the Capricorn and Hades that represented the Scorpio, both of them living within some version of hell, right? Awakening the Kundalini experience, the personal power, the depth that is within you. I do think that many of you are going to be addressing your vices during this new moon. Awareness of the things that have once made you feel bound, addicted, connected, but also I think embracing some of those things. There's some kind of embracing of this depth of your own energy. It's feeling kind of scary, but I can't say that it doesn't feel like someone else. It feels like you, which is quite interesting. In the shadow we have, what is that? That is the 6 of Swords in reverse with the 9 of Pentacles. So the shadow going on here is your inability to sail away from pain, not necessarily feeling as stable in yourself, but also some of you, it could be feelings like your independence almost feeling like loneliness. Your independence and your ability to stand on your own 2 feet is feeling like what is binding you or bounding you. And here we have the 6 of Swords in reverse, so there's an inability to sail away from pain. It's feeling like as much as you're trying to release yourself from the darkness, the addictions, the obsessions. Could be, again, this competition, this malice, this things that have wounded you and hurt you in the past. As much as you're trying to release yourself from it, is causing blockages. There also can be an issue pertaining to people that do not have your best interest at heart, that are affecting your ability to stand alone and stable within your own 2 feet. The advice here is the legacy of light. So understanding that you are guided and divinely guided, you are also protected. So I would say to spend a lot of time focusing on, if you are in more of the spiritual realm, I would say speaking to whatever guides it is that you may have and reminding yourself that you are protected. If that is not the case, I would say reaching out to other people on a more practical sense. So if you do need help in terms of protecting yourself from whatever this energy may be, it's understanding that there are other people that are here that can help you in terms of moving forward in a more directional way that is authentic to you. Let's do the healing point here in terms of unraveling this. Value what is sacred to you by protecting it from interference, even that which may be well-intentioned. Be compassionate but set firm boundaries. You are going to triumph over a negative situation. Yeah. It'll take courage, but you have more than enough inner strength, resourcefulness, and boldness to accomplish that which you wish to attain. Do not give up. You have the ability to connect to higher worlds, to open your heart to the mind of light. I want to get some more clarity on this. When it comes to this devil energy, is this devil energy you? Simple yes or no. Six of Cups in reverse. What are you dealing with? Who are you dealing with? And this was the answer to, is the devil energy you? Six of Cups in reverse is a firm no. So it is something outside of you. What it is that you're dealing with is Judgment in reverse. Who is it that you're dealing with is the Sun. That's interesting. So it could be a Leo that you're dealing with, or some kind of Leo energy. The feeling of someone else's happiness being off the back of your demise. The feeling that other people moving forward in terms of their own illumination or their own happiness or their own, what it is that is making them happy, their forward movement coming at the expense of you. What it is that you're dealing with is a Judgment in reverse. So something not necessarily working in your favor, being misjudged, being misconstrued, being made out to be a villain in some way, shape, or form. When I say that when I asked if the devil was you, the Six of Cups came out in reverse. So for some of you, this, not to say that this is any easier, but this might actually just be you revisiting the past in terms of things that you dealt with in the past. And an awareness of this experience that you had gone through. And it could also be cleaning up something from the past that put you in this place that was the devil energy, that had to do with competition, people out to get you, competing with you through this idea that their happiness needed to come at your expense. And you're doing something about it. In this moment, it's affecting you, and it's affecting your stability. It's affecting your inability to move on from this pain. But you have to understand that you are divinely guided. You are protected. And most importantly, move toward your own legacy. So whatever it is that you lost in this time, or whoever it is that these people are, you focusing on your own narrative, your own legacy, your own forward movement will heal this energy here. But through the new moon, you are going to be going through this. Again, I can't help but feel like this Nine of Pentacles. It's like, yeah, things that alter your sense of independence, but it feels more like a loneliness. Like as if this is a bit of a contradiction in a sense, like you wish that you weren't necessarily in this energy alone by yourself, and it's difficult to sail away from the pain of all of this. And it's like you have to understand how to protect yourself even from that which is well intended. You need to have firm boundaries. And it's going to take a lot of strength and a lot of courage. But it is a negative situation. It's a very, very negative situation that you're dealing with. A very dark, painful, either memory, series of memories, people, what it is that they've done to you. It's really hitting you tenfold. The ways in which you were sacrificed for other people's forward movements. You can understand what it is that happened. You can, through compassion, it can help you understand, but you need to move forward with really firm boundaries. Let this turn you into the kind of person that is very unyielding in your approaches now moving forward, because you need to not let energies like this in your space anymore at all whatsoever. But there is a lot of darkness around you. There's a lot of darkness. But protecting yourself is the answer to it. Is what will, I guess, or what will be the outcome of it all. Where is your movement forward? Power of attraction and seeing the true you at the bottom of the deck. You guys get this one a lot. Yeah, your movement forward comes from connections that are actually in alignment for you. Knowing your own energy, especially with this 8th house this 8th house activation, you are very attractive. You are very magnetic right now. Call into you what it is that you truly desire the most. Allow this light to move within you and burst through all of this negative energy that is plaguing you. Like I said, it could be the past, because again we have the 6 of Cups. So I'm hoping for you that it doesn't mean that it's any better, you know, but I'm hoping that it's the memories, right? Because when you're talking about 8th house, you are talking about looking at baggage and clearing out that closet. So it doesn't necessarily mean they are things that have to be affecting you right now in this moment. They could ultimately be past experiences that are plaguing you. But now it's a matter of knowing who you really are, seeing who you truly are, and attracting what it is that you really desire, who it is that you really desire, the life that you really desire to have. No more of this energy. No more snake energy. You have to protect yourself. And that is what's going to be your topic for this Leo new moon, which is no surprise to me. I mean, if it's the activation of the 8th house, we're going to go deep, right? All right, so I love you guys. Ciao.